What's up, guys? It's Johnny Candido of Candido Training HQ, and today's video is on the topic of bench press safety. And the reason for that is because in my recent 350-pound bench press attempt, I saw a lot of comments, even Omar left a comment, wondering why I don't use clips on the end of the bar. Now, I also want to expand this to bench press safety in general, because I've seen personally recently at my own commercial gym, a lot of people still don't know how to set it up to where they can push themselves without any fear of going to failure and then just having the bar just stuck on your chest. Now, the first tip is the most obvious, and that is to simply get a spotter. And unfortunately, someone like myself, I don't always have this luxury because I train at random points in the day, and a lot of times I'm the only person in the gym. But also, I want to add a point that if you don't have a training partner, but there are other people in the gym, and you want to use a spotter who's never spotted you in the past, to be very clear with your communication. Because I see this all the time where someone will touch the bar too soon, or the liftoff is out of sync, and all these little factors can affect your performance and how safe you feel while performing the movement. Now, the rest of my points will be for people who don't have a spotter like myself, and the first option you should pursue is to try to bench press within a squat rack. And Omar Isov has a great video on this, because this is just a very safe way. There's really almost no way you can get hurt if you set it up properly, because then if you miss the weight, you can just rest it on the safety rack. However, there are a couple reasons for why I don't do this, and that's because in my own gym, the bench is better on the one that's set up like a full bench press, and the benches that you drag along to put in the squat rack are not quite as high of quality. And then also, the squat racks in my gym don't have enough holes to adjust the height to a specific enough point to where then it fits my build well. It's either a little bit too high to unrack it or a little bit too low, and then same with the safeties. It's either a little too high to where it may touch it, or it's too low to where it doesn't even protect me. Alright, for the roll of shame, I personally don't use this method, so I'm not going to show myself trying to demonstrate it. Instead, I'll show possibly the best example I've ever seen, and that's Matt Does Fitness, who has a great YouTube channel in general, by the way. He does this very well, and all you do is if you fail the lift, you bring it down onto your chest, and then you just roll it onto your hips, and then you set it on the bench, and then you set it on the floor. It's that simple. Stepping, you see each crew repping. So now for what I personally do, I of course don't put clips on, and then if I do fail a lift, all I do is I just tilt it to one side, let the plates fall off, and then as a reaction, of course, the other side will tilt over, and then I just place the bar back. That's all there is to it. Now, something I want to point out is the fact that if you're bench pressing with proper form, you're pressing towards your face. And this becomes relevant to this topic because there is a possibility that you could lose it towards your face to neck area if you have that momentum and you lose control of the bar. So in this case, just tilting it from side to side, in my opinion, is easier in that position. Overall, the reason why I didn't have clips while having a spotter was just to play it safe, just in case Michelle couldn't take the weight off, which she ended up actually doing very easily. She basically rode 350 pounds for me. Now, another point I want to make is the fact that a lot of people still use a thumbless grip, and this is also called a suicide grip, which it should be very obvious given its name, suicide grip, that you should not use it in most circumstances. However, a lot of people still do, and it does increase the risk of the bar obviously coming out of your hands because your thumb's not wrapped around it securely. Also, I don't even think suicide grip is allowed in most federations, if not all of them. I know for a fact it's not allowed in the only true real federation that exists in the entire world in the history of man, the IPF. Actually, Bryce Lewis has a great video on this due to a personal experience with his dad using it, I believe it was. And it just shows you that it is a serious risk that you're taking, even if it's a very small one. And the point here is we don't want to take any risk that we don't have to. This is also why I'm against using plates on your heels when squatting to step back onto them instead of buying Olympic lifting shoes, because it just increases another chance of injury. It just adds another risk, And if you're using heavy enough weight and you're shaking and you maybe make a misstep and you knock the plate and it slides a little, that's just something that I don't want to see anybody be in that situation. So that's it, guys. Make sure to like the video, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
And the only thing I tell him is I'm living for the present and the future don't exist. Man, fuck a shooting star. Biggie died, they shot a star. Who you know in West LA? Bring that ruckus to MA. Jeez.